All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about a Destiny YouTube war that has begun. On one side, we have CoolGuy, and on the other side, we have Aztecross. And it's not really a war or a competition per se, but it's simply a matter of opinion. Is the Waking Vigil trash, or is the Waking Vigil amazing? Both of these videos were uploaded recently by two separate YouTubers, and they have drastically different opinions about the weapon Waking Vigil. As much as this might seem like a matter of who's clickbaiting, which one of these YouTubers is the clickbaiter, it's really not. It's mostly just a matter of opinion. People have different opinions about different weapons, which is why when someone says this weapon's a god roll, that weapon's a god roll, it's important that there's evidence and reasoning behind that, because really anyone could just say anything's a god roll. But let's begin with the first video that was uploaded from CoolGuy. His main points were basically that the Waking Vigil has really poor base stats, especially when compared to other 140s, especially right now the Palindrome. Palindrome has better base stats across the board from Waking Vigil. And basically that was the point he was trying to drive home with his video. He was basically saying that the stats are much worse and it's definitely not worth it. You get such a terrible range drop off because of the poor stats. And he's not wrong. The Palindrome does pretty much outclass the Waking Vigil in every way, especially when it comes to base stats and outranging it. And I'm going to do some tests here in just a minute to demonstrate that. And then on the other side of the argument, we have Aztecross, who admitted that the range is poor on this weapon, but he said that the rangefinder kill clip roll is amazing. He personally had a lot of fun using this roll, and kill clip has actually become kind of a rare perk on weapons lately, so having kill clip on a 140 actually felt really nice. You can't get kill clip on the Palindrome, which would be the 140 RPM that pretty much outclasses the Waking Vigil in every way, so that is kind of like a +1 for Waking Vigil. So both YouTubers make some pretty fair points, but now what I want to do is show you a range test between all the 140 RPM hand cannons that I have. All right, so now I'm in a private match, and I'm going to actually test and demonstrate, show you the difference between these weapons, okay? The God Rolled Waking Vigil versus the God Roll Adept Palindrome. The difference is so minute that I don't really think you're going to stress over it that much. Before I begin, I'll show you all the weapons that I'm going to be using here. I have a Dire Promise. I'm a bit of a God Roll weapon connoisseur, obviously, if you watch the channel. It has Snapshot Rangefinder. It has high caliber rounds, Sure Shot, and a Range Masterwork. So this is a maximum range 10 out of 10 Dire Promise. Along with this, I have a Palindrome, which has Rangefinder, Light Mag. It doesn't have the best barrel, and it doesn't have a range masterwork, so it's not a 10 out of 10 Palindrome Adept, but it is still a very good roll with rangefinder. I have a Waking Vigil with rangefinder, ricochet rounds, hit mark, and a range masterwork, so a 10 out of 10 Waking Vigil. And I have an Ancient Gospel with rangefinder. But when you test these weapons out in terms of range, you'll notice that, like, for example, the Ancient Gospel, if I shoot at 32 meters, I hit a headshot for 70. If I were to back up to 33 meters, I would begin to experience range drop-off. The same thing would happen with my Waking Vigil. It's a God roll, 10 out of 10 roll. I hit 70 at 32 meters. Now if I swap over to my Dire Promise and use this, I can actually back up to 34 meters here. Right up here at 34, and I'll shoot a 70 to the head. So I get a +2 more meters range. And if I were to swap over to my near God rolled Palindrome, still a very good roll, but not a 10 out of 10 God roll, you'll notice I can also do 70 to the head at 34 meters. If I were to back up to 35 meters with this roll, I would experience range drop off. Now that is a difference of 2 meters between the two rolls I have. If I were to have the perfect 10 out of 10 Palindrome, I believe it could go all the way to 36 meters. So we're talking about a range difference from the perfect Waking Vigil and the perfect Palindrome Adept, 4 meters in total, which is so unbelievably small. Let me show you how much of a small difference this is. This is the difference of 4 meters right here. From me to Roxley, this is 4 meters. This is the amount of added range from the 10 out of 10 Adept Palindrome comparative to the 10 out of 10 Waking Vigil. Is that really that big of a deal? Some might say yes, some might say no. In my opinion, I'm going to say it's really not that big a deal. And the fact that Waking Vigil can actually roll with that now rare perk kill clip is definitely a nice added bonus. You're not going to 2-tap people with it because it requires such low resilience, but that does add a lot to the range and to the ease of use of the weapon. So my final analysis from all of this, do I think that the Waking Vigil is trash, as CoolGuy said, or do I think that it's nasty, as Aztecross said? Again, it's just a matter of opinion, but I do think that focusing so much on the base stats of the weapon is kind of a bit unnecessary. I don't think the Waking Vigil is awful. I think that the Waking Vigil is actually a great weapon for Crucible. It does lack a little bit in the range department, but the difference between it and other 140 RPM hand cannons is so small that I really don't think it matters that much. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below though, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.